have a book for you called Clean Getaway, written by Nick Stone. Now, isn't this a delightful cover? I love getaway stories. I love adventure stories where you hit the road, and that's what happens in this story. It starts out with our young character, and his name is William Scoob Lamar. His grandmother calls him Scoob after Scooby-Doo. And he is supposed to go on a spring trip with his father, but he gets in trouble at school. And so he is kind of grounded. But he would love to get away. And so grandmother shows up. She's sold everything she owns. They call her G-Ma, by the way. And she has bought this Winnebago, and they're going to go on a trip. And she takes him without really much permission, really. And she takes him away. Now, it turns out that G-Ma is really taking him and sharing with him some of the things that have happened in her past. It turns out that her husband, who was actually an African-American man and she was a white woman, we really had some trouble during that time in the South being a couple. And she shares with him a lot of the places that are very historical as far as African-American history are concerned. They go to Alabama, Birmingham. They go to where the church that was bombed is. They talk a lot about the things that have happened during the Jim Crow law time. And she gets to know her grandson, and her grandson gets to know his feisty grandma. They call her G-Ma, and let me tell you, she is starting to act a little peculiar. She's not answering her phone, and it seems to be something suspicious is going on. And turns out that she might not be so innocent herself. Now, Nick Stone, when she wrote this book, saw Twitter about a granny in her 80s who was arrested for thievery. And so she wondered about that. Well, that plays into this story. And so the Clean Getaway is more than just him getting away from spring break grounding, but maybe his grandmother is getting away from some things too. Now, when I first started listening and reading to this book, I started listening to it, by the way, and it's a great listen. But then I realized, I'm missing out on some delightful illustrations throughout the book. I thought this book would be great for 3rd grade, 4th grade. It gets a little intense, especially towards the end. So I definitely think it's more of a middle grade book. Read it before you read it with kids and see what you think. Again, I think it is just delightful. Now, Nick Stone is known for her young adult book. The famous one that she wrote called Dear Martin was a debut novel that just hit #1 right away. And so she is taking a shot now with the younger kids. So, Nick Stone, Clean Getaway. Tell me what you think of this one.